Have you noticed how applications seem to be getting smarter all the time? Websites provide recommendations for new items based on past purchases. You get an alert from your bank if they suspect a fraudulent transaction. And you get emails from your favorite stores when items related to things you typically buy are on sale. All of these things are examples of ways you can use a technology called machine learning. Machine learning algorithms discover patterns in data and construct mathematical models using these patterns. Then, you can use these models to make predictions on new data. Machine learning is something you could use for lots of applications, but learning and implementing the complex algorithms required to build models is difficult and time-consuming. And then deploying and managing the infrastructure to analyze the large data sets required to build accurate models and generate predictions at high scale is expensive and requires continual maintenance to keep it all up and running. What if there was a better way? Introducing Amazon Machine Learning. Amazon Machine Learning is a service that allows you to quickly and easily build smart applications that can perform important functions like fraud detection, demand forecasting, predictive customer support, and click prediction. Amazon Machine Learning uses powerful algorithms to create machine learning models by finding patterns in your existing data and using these patterns to make predictions from new data as it becomes available. For example, you could use Amazon Machine Learning to analyze customer feedback in emails, product reviews, forums, or phone transcripts, and recommend corrective actions to your product or service teams, or connect the customers with customer care specialists. Getting started with machine learning is easy. First, you configure a connection to read your data from Amazon S3, Amazon Redshift, or Amazon RDS. Amazon Machine Learning's visual tools help you preview the data to ensure quality, and the wizards and APIs will guide you through the process of creating machine learning models. Once the models are built, you use Amazon Machine Learning's built-in tools to evaluate and fine-tune them, and then the models are ready to generate predictions. Now your applications can either call the Batch API to get predictions for entire data sets at once, or you can use the Real-Time API to generate predictions on demand. With Amazon Machine Learning, you can create models from large data sets, generate billions of predictions, and serve these predictions in real time and at high throughput. There's no upfront cost, and you pay as you go, so you can start small and scale as your application grows. To learn more about Amazon Machine Learning, visit our website, and you can get your first predictive application up and running today.
AWS provides every developer and data scientist the broadest and deepest set of machine learning services on the most comprehensive cloud platform, enabling them to create impactful solutions faster. Developers can quickly add intelligence to applications without needing machine learning expertise, using pre-trained AI services to do things such as create more intelligent contact centers, improve demand forecasting, detect fraud, personalize the consumer experience, and more. For machine learning practitioners and data scientists who want to build, train, and deploy models, Amazon SageMaker offers complete access, control, and visibility into each step required. SageMaker provides all the tools needed for machine learning, including the first fully integrated development environment, so models get to production faster with less effort and at a lower cost. With SageMaker, customers achieve up to 10 times improvement in data science team productivity and 54% lower TCO compared to other cloud platforms. AWS is framework agnostic, empowering expert practitioners to use the deep learning framework of their choice, either as a managed experience in SageMaker or pre-configured AWS deep learning AMIs. For those who want to learn machine learning, educational devices such as AWS Deep Racer, Deep Composer, and Deep Lens are designed to teach the fundamentals of machine learning in fun and practical ways. Join the tens of thousands of customers who already choose AWS for machine learning.
Machine learning is going to continue to improve the lives of truck drivers.
Using computer vision and machine learning, we wanted to see if we could create an automatic analysis of autism and autism spectrum disorder.
Machine learning allows us to get very, very quickly to very complex data.
Machine learning can actually directly contribute to understanding our planet. We can use machine learning and computer vision analysis to assess things like facial expression and attention. And so we built a set of movies that elicit these behaviors and use the camera in the device to measure the child's response.
AWS is allowing us to go through the machine learning phase together, and we can now predict future performance based on the data of the past.
The innovation that Convoy has brought is we can figure out where the right truck is for the right load anywhere in the country, and using machine learning match the right trucker at the right price to move a shipment from point A to point B.
We sail around Antarctica in 196 days with 3 vehicles. You will need to understand the risk of collision with icebergs, which can be the size of small countries. Drones are equipped with cameras. The problem being, when you're at sea, the ocean moves, the waves move, and we need to train machine learning algorithms so we can navigate this. How do we use the technology that we have developed and put it at the service of the planet?
We're embracing machine learning. We're embracing AI. We're going to truly change the game.
I like to have home time because I don't get a lot of time at home. But that's what the Convoy app does for me. It helps me be at home more.
If we can do just a small thing to change one kid, I think I would go to sleep with a smile.
Businesses have found new ways to leverage machine learning for applications such as recommendation engines, object detection, voice assistance, fraud detection, and more. Although the use of machine learning is gaining traction, long development time, high cost, the need for agility, and high complexity are key barriers that prevent use of machine learning from becoming even more widespread. For the fastest and easiest way to get started using machine learning, AWS offers Amazon SageMaker, a fully managed machine learning service. For more customized machine learning projects, AWS Machine Learning Infrastructure delivers a range of options to you. AWS Machine Learning Infrastructure services remove the barriers to adoption of machine learning with cost-effective, high-performance options that are agile and easy to use for beginners and experts alike. With AWS ML Infrastructure, organizations can get the right amount of compute, storage, and networking performance for any use case and budget. For fast model training that reduces training time from days to minutes, EC2 P3 and P3DN instances offer the highest performance GPU training instances in the cloud. For small-scale or entry-level machine learning training, EC2 G4 instances can be a cost-effective solution. For high-performance inference, EC2 Inf1 instances with AWS-developed Inferentia custom chips deliver high throughput and low latency with the lowest cost per inference in the cloud. For GPU-based inference, EC2 G4 instances enable use of NVIDIA libraries. For inference that uses Intel AVX 512 instructions, EC2 C5 instances are a good solution. For cost-effective shared file storage of large amounts of data needed to train models, Amazon S3 is a great solution. To further increase storage performance, Amazon FSx for Lustre delivers shared file storage with high throughput and consistent low latencies. AWS was first in the cloud to offer 100 gigabits per second per instance of network bandwidth. For large-scale multi-node deployments, Elastic Fabric Adapter provides a low-latency, low-jitter channel for inter-instance communications. For highly scalable Kubernetes orchestration, you can use Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service to efficiently run distributed training jobs. In addition, AWS offers different pricing plans to meet the needs of any organization. Business conditions constantly change, and AWS ML infrastructure can change with it. Whether it's scaling up or down as needed, choosing different ML frameworks, or changing geographic locations, AWS ML infrastructure can adapt to meet your needs. The fastest way to get started using all of this powerful machine learning infrastructure is by using Amazon SageMaker. SageMaker enables you to develop high-quality models by providing all of the components required for machine learning in a fully managed experience, so models get to production faster with much less effort and at lower cost. AWS provides the broadest selection of machine learning compute, networking, and storage infrastructure to meet the needs of any machine learning initiative, all with a pay-as-you-go cost model. To learn more, visit our website.
Hi and good evening, everyone. Welcome to the 19th episode of the Community Ignite series, the absolute beginner's crash course to machine learning and artificial intelligence on AWS. I am your host, Acha Abed, the Technical Community Manager of EdukasyonPH. We value your time in spending your Thursday evening with us to learn this episode. But before we ignite your night, let us know that you are here in the chat or in the Zoom room or in the FB Live by saying hi, where you are from, if you're a student, a professional. Also, if you're representing a tech community, hello and welcome. So we're also live again on Facebook. Don't forget to tag your friends and share this live. Let's also help others learn from our very own industry leaders. Hi, guys! Ayan. So if this is your first time joining with us, the Community Ignite series brings people to uplift fellow developers and professionals in the Philippines. So with different guest speakers from all over the world, sharing their expertise in the field. So whether you're a student, professional, or career shifter, this series is the one for you. So join us every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. But before I move on, let's see the chat. Hello, guys. Ayan. Siyempre, bigyan natin ng shout-out at ating mga very active and loyal Facebook Zoom viewers. Hello! Sabi ni Jeneline, hello from Quezon Province. Sabi ni Eric, good evening from AMA Computer University. Maria says, hi from Adamson University. JKM, good evening everyone from PLM. Sabi ni Earl, ayan, si Earl ka-schoolmate ko, hi from St. Paul University, Manila. Ayan, shout out sa university namin. Sabi ni Martin, good evening from PWU. Ayan, grabe, we have a lot of students here. Sabi ni John Rafael, hi Ate Acha, all caps, ayan, from NU Baliwag. Ayan, we're all, grabe, from different parts of the Philippines tayo. And our speaker is from the other side of the world. Charot, pero he's from different countries. So, ayan, okay. So, if this is your first time joining us, ayan, very welcome and welcome to the 19th episode. This event is for free and comes with an e-certificate. Ayan, sa mga students, this also comes with an e-certificate, and this is co-presented by Amazon Web Services and AWS Sikla Pilipinas. So make sure that you join in our Zoom room, the Zoom link. Register in the event, indicating your full name and correct email address to receive your e-certificate. Ayan. And eto na, the new Community Ignite series has been improving. Syempre, this wouldn't be possible without your feedback. So later, also send your feedback. And with that, we are giving away 20 winners tonight will be receiving $20 worth of AWS credits. So to get a chance to win, don't forget to share this live on Facebook and tag your friends to learn with us for free. And sa mga winners last episode, they're wondering, Ate Atcha, paano ko magagamit tong AWS credits na to? So later, if you'll be chosen with the $20 worth of AWS credits, all you have to do is to create an account on Amazon Web Services to avail their services. And if you're into web development, you can use yung mga technologies natin with using the credits. Ayan. So in case you missed the previous talks, you can watch the highlights and full episodes on our socials. So we'll be showing in our screen right now is our Linktree link. Ayan, nandyan na lahat. So to stay updated, and if you ever feel like you need a reminder, we're everywhere. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok to watch the full episode of the Community Ignite series. We're also on YouTube, EdTV. Ayan, hello guys. Yan, nakita kayo chat nyo. Okay. So huwag na natin patagalin pa. Yes, I'm definitely excited to learn today's topic, and I know that you are too as well. And with that, I would like to introduce our speaker. He is a prototyping engineer, Yasayan of Amazon Web Services. He's been building software systems professionally since 2006 and specializes in web or mobile front-end development, containers, and serverless technologies. As a prototyping engineer for Amazon Web Services, he regularly works with emergent technologies, and it's always a pleasure to share his experiments and findings with others. So ito pa, another fun fact about our speaker tonight. According to his 2021 Spotify rap review. He listens to K-pop plus J-rock too much and to OPM too little. So he's trying to fix that for next year. Ayan ang resolution ng ating speaker. He also plays way too much Dota 2 daw. So let's all virtually bring into the stage Richard Neil Ilagan. Hello! Also known as Carding. Hi, Carding!
Hello, hello.
Hello! Carding, where are you are from right now? Musta ka na?
Currently ako nasa Singapore. I am based in
Yes.
Singapore for around 1.5 years now.
Okay, thank you, Carding. Take it away. Ayan.
All right. Ang hirap tapatan ng energy ni Ate Acha, no? All right. Sige. So, thank you for your time, everyone. Thank you for attending. So, ang gagawin natin ngayon, I have a little less than an hour to go through this course called the Absolute Beginner's Crash Course to Machine Learning and AI on AWS. So, what we're going to be doing is that what we find is ang hirap, kahit sa akin, napakahirap magsimula with machine learning, napakahirap how do you even get started? Where do you even start? Who do you ask? And so on and so forth, diba? How do you do what you want to do? Yung mga videos na lumabas kanina, pakiramdam ko info overload na para sa maraming tao, myself included. How do you even start, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about right today, at least. So gusto ko lang simulan na machine learning is very, very difficult. So I've seen a lot of people na magsimula sila with, sige, subukan ko mag-AI, subukan ko mag-machine learning. Sanay naman ako mag-program, sanay naman ako mag-build ng software systems and so on and so forth. Pero they struggle with machine learning. And there's very good reason for that. Machine learning is difficult mismo kasi it's a very different field, right? So particularly sa akin, kung may aaminin man ako sa inyo, pakiramdam ko I'll never be a great machine learning specialist or engineer, particularly because hindi ganun yung field, yung science, yung math, yung programming, yung klase ng work that goes into machine learning. It's just not for me, right? Pero I know that machine learning is difficult. Pero ang idea is that it's not supposed to be too difficult na hindi ka pwede magsimula, right? Mahirap ang machine learning. It's good to recognize na this is good for me or this is bad for me. This is not for me. This is something I want to do. This is something I don't want to do. Machine learning. That's good. Pero to get there, kailangan makapagsimula ka muna somehow. And ang gusto kong ipakita sa inyo today is that knowing how machine learning works, how to get started, the concepts behind machine learning, they're not as difficult as actually doing machine learning per se, right? Okay lang ang machine learning. It's easy enough to understand. It's easy enough to get started. And hopefully, at the end of the day, you come to the same conclusions, right? Now you understand more about it. You have a better educated idea of, is it something I want to pursue? Is it something I want to, do? Or maybe not. Either way is fine, right? As long as you understand where you're going. So that's what we want to do for today. Cool? Very quick show of hands lang sa chat. Can you let me know sino-sino sa chat ang nakapag-machine learning na before? Just say yes, hi, ganun. I have. I have 1, 2. From more than 70 people, right? 2 people from 70 participants. So that's good. That's okay. Especially with a lot of people, I haven't really come across a lot of people na nagma-machine learning na. The people that do machine learning, they tend to, nakikita ko sila in specific circles. So they're not very, very common, and that's fine. So hopefully by the end of the day, we can change that. At least, give you a better interest about what it does and how to do machine learning, right? So this is an apple. I'm sure lahat kayo alam nyo ng mansanas to, right? So it's an apple. I show you a picture of an apple for a lot of different reasons. It's an apple. Maybe because in your head, bilog siya. It's red. Meron siyang stalk. And ever since you were a child, ever since bata tayong lahat, lahat ng pictures ng mansanas na nakikita natin is, red, round, and has a stalk. Minsan may dahon pa sa dulo. Diba? So it's very easy for us to see or recognize na, this is an apple. Pero, just coming from that, edi apple din to, di ba? Kasi it's round, it's red, it has a stalk, right? And on the other side of it, hindi ito apple. Kasi it's green, it's round, it has a stalk, pero it's not red. So it's not an apple, right? As you can probably see, if you were to teach a computer, for example, to recognize, ito, may picture ako, is this an apple or not an apple? How do you even start, right? What are the characteristics of an apple you teach or you program a computer to look for para malaman niya na apple ang isang bagay, right? As you could probably imagine, medyo mahirap yun. Kasi maraming klase ng mansanas, maraming klase ng ibang prutas, ibang bagay na mukhang pareho ng apple pero hindi naman siya apple talaga. At may mga apple na hindi mukhang apple. And basta it's very complicated. If you can just even start to imagine, how do you even start programming something like that? It's very, very complicated. And that's really what machine learning wants to do. Ang field ng machine learning, it's very broad. It's a science, all of it on its own. Ang point ng machine learning lang is, instead of us as engineers, as coders, as systems administrators, instead of us telling the computer specifically ano yung mga dapat tingnan, ano yung mga dapat hanapin, ano yung mga dapat mong bantayan, machine learning works on the other side of that. Hinahayaan natin yung computer to learn, hinahayaan natin yung computer to recognize, to kind of discern ano-ano yung mga bagay na dapat niyang tingnan. Imbis na sinasabi natin sa kanya, hinahayaan natin yung computer to come to its own conclusions. That's kind of a simple way to think about it. No? Instead na sasabihin natin sa kanya na ito, mansanas, dahil pula siya, dahil bilog siya, dahil may stalk siya, bibigyan natin siya ng mga pictures na mansanas at hahayaan na lang natin yung computer to decide ano-ano yung mga characteristics that make it an apple, that make it not an apple, and so on and so forth. Right? So that's really what machine learning does. Instead of us telling it exactly what to do, we let the computer parang learn on its own. Hinahayaan natin siya matuto on its own. Hindi natin siya masyadong gina-guide. Hinahayaan lang natin siya to organically kind of improve and learn on its own. Right? So we can kind of guide it, pero hindi natin siya, kumbaga, ini-specifically binobox into something na parang dapat ito yung gawin mo. Yep. So it's a very simple way to describe it. And I'm sure I'm oversimplifying things, right? Pero that's kind of the way I like to think about it. That's really what machine learning is. Hinahayaan natin yung computer to decide and learn on its own. Now, that's cool. All right? So natututo yung computer. Pero how does it work? Diba? So how does that even happen? Oh, oops. Sorry. Am I not sharing my screen?
Yes, Cardi.
Oh, that's cool. Nako. All right. Let me just look into sharing my screen. There you go. Okay, sorry, I thought I was sharing my screen. So it's not a tech demo if nothing goes wrong, right? wala naman kayo na miss. So just showing you yung mga previous slides, I showed you a picture of an apple. Tapos pinakita ko na, it's an apple because of this. Pero I also showed na this is not an apple. This is an apple dahil pula siya, bilog and with stalk. And then this must not be an apple kasi it's not red, right? So that's pretty much what I was showing. I was telling you the machine learning is essentially just, letting a computer learn and recognize, the characteristics of things on its own. Instead of tayo mismo yung nagsasabi sa kanya na dapat ganito gawin mo, dapat ganyan gawin mo, dapat ganito, ganon. Instead na ganon, hinahayaan natin yung computer to think about it on its own, to come to conclusions on its own, right? So I was saying before I realized na hindi pala ako nag-share. Okay yung concept. That's a cool concept. Natututo yung computer, right? It learns by itself. Pero how does it work, right? What is the parang what are the moving gears behind it? How does it even function? So let me give you a very very simple example. Yung pinapakita ko sa inyo, what if I told you na yung pinapakita ko sa inyong table right now is my last 4 credit card transactions. Right? So these are my last 4 credit card transactions. May binili ako, ito yung last 4 purchases ko. If I ask you, meron ba diyang suspicious? Does any record there jump at you as being suspicious? And you'd probably say na, oh, malamang oo. Kasi if you look at the table right there, yung pangatlong row, that kind of jumps at you kasi it doesn't look normal, right? Lahat ng ibang mga rows dun sa table, nanggaling yung purchase from the Philippines. Nanggaling yung purchase siguro sa gitna ng araw. Yung pangatlo, nanggaling sa madaling araw, di ba? Tapos nanggaling pa sa ibang bansa. So, if you look at this in a very kind of, limited visibility kind of, ito lang yung tinitingnan mo, madaling makita na yung pangatlo, it's kind of abnormal. It's kind of anomalous. Hindi siya nagbibilong here. It's very different from the normal behavior of this person, kung sino man siya, right? So it's easy to see that this is a different kind of pattern. This is a different kind of, behavior, right? The thing is, in reality, in real life, right? Sa mga totoong software systems, data is rarely this simple. Sobrang minsan mo lang makikita na data looks like this. Most of the time, you'd see it more like this. So ngayon, if I ask you, ano-ano dito ang suspicious? Which records are suspicious? Better question. Sa table na to, meron bang suspicious? Right? It's an evenly better question. It doesn't mean tinatanong ko sa inyo, is anything here suspicious? Meron ba? At kung meron man, ano? More than one? More than two, maybe? It's very difficult. Diba? In reality, data looks a lot more like this. And this is even a very, very small piece of it. And this is a very small subset. In reality, ang data natin is easily millions of records, hundreds or maybe even thousands of columns, di ba? And for human eyes, pag ikaw nakatingin ka dito and you're trying to look, meron ba ditong abnormal, meron ba ditong, different, or meron ba ditong, if this were credit card transactions, meron ba ditong mukhang fraudulent transaction, right? It's very difficult, if not impossible. And this is really one of the fields kung saan magaling ang machine learning. Kasi if you were to show this to a machine learning algorithm and ask it, pahanap naman ng mga different patterns across, this kind of data, machine learning algorithms are very good at doing that. So when one of the ways machine learning works is naghahanap siya ng different patterns that normally you do not see as humans. Kasi it's very difficult. It's a lot of data. It's very complex. And it's very, very difficult para masabi, ano sa mga to ang importante? Which columns are important? If I was looking for fraudulent transactions, right? Ano-anong mga characteristics ng isang transaction ang importante to let me know if it's fraudulent or not? Ano-anong characteristics ang hindi importante? Wala namang kinalaman sa whether it's fraudulent or not. All of those questions are very difficult to answer. A machine learning algorithm will look at this over the course of its, the training, darating tayo dun mamaya, over the course of training, it recognizes a lot of these patterns, right? For if you're building a machine learning model that is designed to detect or recognize fraudulent transactions, for example, it will look for patterns that tell it so. Now, this is fraudulent, this is not. And then, that's really what happens behind the scenes. A lot of machine learning revolves around recognizing different patterns across different kinds of data. So, for example, yung table kanina, what we could have done is ito, yung original table natin. We can add, we can create data or we can prepare data. For example, if this was credit card transactions, ano-ano ba ang mga parte ng isang credit card transactions? You have date, time of purchase, country kung saan siya nag-purchase, magkano yung binili niya, ano yung klase ng kanyang purchase, and so on and so forth. You can have many other features. Yung features are what we call yung characteristics of a record, right? Saan binili, date and time, which website, anong oras binili, magkano. All of those are different characteristics. All of those are different features. And then we can give it a label. So for example, if this was data about credit card transactions, pwede ko siyang bigyan ng label, like parang mamarkahan ko siya, which ones are fraudulent, right? So here, sa example na to, ang pinapakita ko is itong mga records of my transactions. Yung mga label na 0 are valid, are legitimate. Yung mga may 1 are the ones I know are fraudulent, are bad, kumbaga. Thus now, if you explode this data, meron kang thousands of records or millions of records, and then you have all of those different characteristics and all of those different dimensions. You can feed that to a machine learning algorithm. The machine learning algorithm will find the patterns, diba? And then what you get is a machine learning model. Yung machine learning model na yon knows the patterns of ano man yung tinuro mo sa kanya, diba? So you can ask it na for future data naman. So pag may dumating na bagong transaction, pwede mo na siyang tanongin, is this fraudulent or not? Because based dun sa alam ng machine learning models about the patterns of what fraudulent transactions are, pwede siyang mag-predict, pwede siyang manghula na parang, mukhang fraudulent yan. I am 90% sure. Mukhang Apple yan. I am 95% sure. And so on and so forth. Diba? So a lot of machine learning is really about pattern recognition lang. You give it data, bibigay mo sa isang algorithm, and then you get a model at the other end. And that's really at the very center of a lot of machine learning, So I don't know if you've seen this website called This Person Does Not Exist. Thispersondoesnotexist.com. Pero those 8 pictures there are from that website, and those people are not real. These are all photos na inimagine ng isang AI model. Because this particular model, yung gumagawa ng this particular machine learning model na gumagawa ng mga pictures na to, it understands very, very well anong mga patterns that make up a human face. Nasa na mga mata, anong kulay ng mga mata, gano'ng kalalayo, anong hugis, ilong, buhok, and so on and so forth. And because of that, it can use it to generate a completely fictional photo of a human being. Right? So if you're interested, check out the website after, thispersondoesnotexist.com. It's very, very fascinating and creepy at the same time. So I don't know what you think about it, but it's a very interesting area of machine learning called generative AI. So I'll leave you with that. Ngayon, babalikan ko yung previous slide ko. So I keep saying na machine learning is about pattern recognition. So machine learning is really about recognizing different patterns, right? Okay, that's cool. So for example here, nare-recognize ng AI, ano yung mga patterns of a legitimate human face? How does that work How does that work with images in the first place? Kasi ito, ang daling isipin. Credit card transactions, it's just, a a table of data, para siyang spreadsheet, di ba? Meron kang characteristics on one column, on your columns, tapos meron kang mga rows of data. So it's just a table of data. How does that work with images? For example, how does that work with something na hindi tabular, like sound or thought, for example, or behavior, for example, right? Now the thing is, if you really want to encode something, if you really want to build a machine learning model against something, sound, images, behavior, and so on and so forth, most of the time there's going to be a way to represent that as digital data. So just as a bit of an example, if you're not familiar, this is one of the most popular data sets available publicly. So this data set is called the MNIST data set. So it's a data set made up of 70,000 images of handwritten numbers by different people. So you can imagine 0 to 9, 70,000 images, siguro at least 7,000 people yan, at least 7,000 different people. Isa-isang sinulat yung 0 to 9, tas you have that data set. How do you build a machine learning model that can recognize handwritten digits using this data set, for example? I'll walk you through the steps, okay? So ang first general thing that you have to do is, how do you even show this, yung images na to, as data? How do you even represent it as digital data? You have your images, pero that's not really something we can use directly because most of the time, kailangan tables or numbers and so on and so forth, right? So for example, this is one of the number threes in that data set. One way I can attack this problem is, meron akong image of number 3. Lahat ng images in that data set is actually just 28 pixels by 28 pixels. So one way I can do this is yung buong image na yun, 28 pixels by 28 pixels, I can divide it on all of those pixels. And I can read ano yung color data on every single one of those pixels. Diba? So I have 28 by 28 pixels, that's 784, if my math is, correct. So I'll have 784 different values. Gano katingkad yung ink, kumaga. Gano katingkad yung tinta nung sulat na yon for that particular number at that point, that pixel in the picture. And then I can flatten it out. Right? So ngayon, meron akong table of 784 columns, di ba? Kasi 28 by 28, so i-flat ko lang, 784, right? Tapos bawat isang column na yon is a measure of gaano katingkad yung pixel, right? And then, the last thing I can do is I can label it. So pwede kong lagyan ng label na this first row, ito ang itsura ng isang number 3. This second row, ito ang itsura ng isang number 1, number 2, number 9, and so on and so forth. All 70,000 images. Following so far? So pag ginawa ko yun, right, I explode all of the data, I process all of that data into this form. I can now use it, ibibigay ko sa isang machine learning algorithm. Yung machine learning algorithm na yun, ipapag-aralan niya, what are the patterns that make up a number 3? Ano ang kadalasan na nakikita ko pag number 3? Ano ang kadalasan na nakikita ko pag number 1? Pag number 2? Pag number 9? Pag number 5? And so on and so forth. Right? So, in that process, nakakagawa tayo ng isang machine learning model. At the end of it all, you come up with a machine learning model. Ngayon, yung machine learning model na yun can now predict on future data it has not seen. So for example here, nagsulat ako ng number 3, nahulaan naman niya na number 3 yan because of what I've done, because of the data before. Pero kung papansinin nyo, hindi rin siya sure. Sabi niya na, mukhang sure ako number 3, medyo sure ako na number 3 to, pero baka 7, maliit na 7, baka 9, maliit na chance na 9, and so on and so forth. Right? And that's how machine learning models work. Meron siyang what we call a confidence. So sabi niya na parang, that looks like a number 3. I am 99% sure. 99.99999% sure. And so on and so forth. So that's really how it works. Ang point being is that if you want to build a machine learning model for pretty much anything, chances are there's a way to represent yung kung ano man yung gusto mong i-measure, i-model as digital data. So as a sort of an extreme example, one of the prototypes I've created 2 months ago was this machine learning model na nakakapag-control ng drone using your brain. So meron kaming headset na ganito. It measures the brain waves while you're thinking of different things. Tapos what we did was that using the different brain waves, tinuruan namin yung isang machine learning model, what are the patterns of when I'm thinking forward, back, left, right, up, down, take off, land, mga ganon. So we built a machine learning model that can recognize yung brainwave data so that we can control a drone using our thoughts. So it's a bit of an extreme example. So yung ginawa namin, it's very fragile. It's very, hodgepodge. Medyo it's not going to get the Pulitzer Prize, for example. So nakikita niya nag-crash yung drone namin. Pero it's a good example of how you can encode any kind of data, most any kind of thing into data. As long as you can get your data into something digital, you can ask machine learning to recognize patterns on that data and then do action based on the patterns it sees, right? So that's a pretty paano ba yan? Pretty direct way of going about it. So now we just went through ano yung concept. How does machine learning work? Diba? So I just went through the very, very kind of 101 version of it. And FYI lang, I am oversimplifying a lot of things. So like I said, machine learning is very, very difficult. So it's very good if you understand the concepts, pero I just want to warn you na hindi yun lahat. So that's not the end all be all of it. So just so you know, now that you know the concepts behind ML, how does it work? What happens when I do this? Ganun. How do I actually do ML? How do I actually create a model? How do I actually go about it? If I wanted to create a model, a machine learning model, how do I go about it? And like I said, maraming iba't ibang klase ng ML. Pero no matter what you're trying to do with machine learning, I found that you can generally just find na yung process involves the same 4 fundamental steps. And these are those 4 fundamental steps. So the first one you really want to do is you gather your data. Lahat ng machine learning models have to work with some kind of data, whether that be historical data, past data, archive data, test data, whatever. It has to have some form of data. So you gather that data. The second thing you have to do is you have to process that data. You have to prepare it. If you're going to be giving that data to your machine learning algorithm, paano dapat basahin ng algorithm yung data mo? Should it be an image? Should it be a table? Should it be, a series of numbers? This is also where you clean your data, where you kind of simplify it if you want. This is also where you do the data science part of machine learning. Kasi you kind of create observations, do statistics or whatever, do the fancy math, do the fancy mathematics to make your data quality much better, right? So this is where you do a lot of that stuff. The third thing you have to do is then you train a model. And training a model, simply put, training a model is just getting an algorithm, picking an algorithm. There's tons of different algorithms, diba? Picking an algorithm, getting your data, ibabangga mo lang silang dalawa. So you just feed yung data na prepare mo, you feed it to your to your algorithm, right? The output of that is a machine learning model most of the time, right? No, generally, ganun lang yan. You have an algorithm, you have data, you put the two together, you get a model. Then the last step is you use the model. Oras na meron ka ng model, you just use it, right? No, for whatever purpose it may serve. So, for example, this ang model is it recognizes handwritten digits, right? I've seen many different models in my line of work. You can kind of think of any use case, malamang may gamit ang AI dyan. You can build an ML model to help that out, to make it more efficient, and so on and so forth. These are pretty much the very fundamental steps of any machine learning model, of any machine learning process. If you want to build a machine learning model, ganito kadalasan yung kailangan mong daanan, no matter what you're trying to do. Depende sa kung anong klaseng machine learning ang gusto mong gawin, some of these will change significantly or even drastically, pero these are the fundamental steps you have to go through. Okay? And I think it goes without saying na your models, hindi sila magic. Diba? They're not going to do something that they were not built for, right? And most of the time they're going to be far from perfect as well. So for example, yung handwritten numbers recognition model natin kanina, sure, obvious sa kanya na number 3 to, pero dito nalilito siya. Is it a 6 or a 0? Is this a 4 or a 9? Right? At ito, it doesn't even know what that is. It looks like a 5. Pero we know it's a smiley face. Pero the model won't know that. Kasi hindi parte ng data natin yung smiley face. Yeah? So your data, your models, will only learn from what you give it. Garbage in, garbage out. So the quality of our data is going to dictate gaano kagaling yung performance ng model nyo. Exactly how well does it do what it's supposed to do. Right? So just keep that in mind. And lastly, when you're doing ML, it's not an end-to-end process. It's really a cycle. Kasi once you gather your data, you prepare it, you train your model, and then you have your model. When you use it, when you're using your model, it's also generating data. Kasi are you getting correct positives, false positives, true negatives, false negatives, and so on and so forth? You're generating more data because people are using your model. You can use that to train again, right? So it's an iterative process. So over time, your machine learning models improve kasi you have more data. You can train your model more and more. The more data you have, generally, the better models you have, right? So over time, your machine learning models will improve, or theoretically, they should improve. And that's really the second part of bucket learning, machine learning. Kasi your machine learning models learn over time as well, not just from the data you're training them with, but over time, they also learn, right? So it's really continuous improvement. It supposedly never stops, right? So far, so good. I just kind of want to summarize everything with a bit. I just want to spend some time introducing some approaches to machine learning that I've seen. And these are the ones that I find are very, very common, right? There are a lot of different approaches to machine learning. Pero these 3 that I'm going to show you are some of the more common ones. Like if you're going to be building a machine learning model, chances are they're going to be one of these 3. Okay? The first one is yung pinakita ko na sa inyo kanina. So the first one, and I'm sure a lot of you have also heard of it, is called supervised learning. Supervised learning just means na yung data na pinapakita natin doon sa model, we also tell it ano yun. So meron tayong binibigay na data, sinasabi natin na, oy, this is a number 1, ha? Ito, this is a number 3. This is a number 5. And so on and so forth. This is a picture of an apple. This is a picture of a cherry, and so on and so forth, right? Sinasabi natin dun sa model na ito yung characteristics and this is what it is. Yun ang supervised learning. On the other side, syempre, kung may supervised, may unsupervised. So unsupervised learning naman, you don't tell it what it is. So, binibigyan mo lang siya ng data and you let the model kind of make its own conclusions about ano ang mga characteristics, features, correlations, ano-ano yung mga parang patterns on the data without you, as the engineer, specifically telling the model na ito dapat yung mga hinahanap mo. Ito yung mga data na to, these are what it is. Instead, wala kang sinasabing ganun. And these are very good for use cases na gusto mo. For example, you want to group different data points together. Good example, meron kang business, marami kang customer. Gusto mong i-group yung mga customers mo somehow. Like, kumare, you want to create customer segments. Pwede kang gumamit ng isang machine learning model to create those segments for you. Yung machine learning model na yon, it's unsupervised learning, will parang find the patterns on your customers and group them the best way it makes sense for your model, for your algorithm, right? Without you telling it na, oy, gusto ko ng ganitong category, and so on and so forth. So that's a good example of unsupervised learning. You don't tell the model ano yung mga bagay na pinapakita mo sa kanya, right? The third one is reinforcement learning. So this is very, very interesting for me kasi ang ginagawa sa reinforcement learning, sinasabihan mo yung algorithm na gusto kong magharap ka ng paraan to do this. Right? So for example, sa AWS Deep Racer, yung mga kotse na yan, you tell it, gusto kong ikutin mo yung track as fast as possible. Ang ginagawa ng reinforcement learning is, yung algorithm, nagpapatakbo siya ng sandamakmak na simulations. All the while, gumagawa siya ng mga decisions. Siyempre, magtuturn ako dito, mag-accelerate ako dyan, magbe-brake ako dito. Tinatandaan niya which decisions affect the results how. So parang iniisip niya, okay, kanina, nag-accelerate ako dito, bumilis yung time ko. So I'll try doing that more. Kanina, nag-turn ako dito, bumagal ako. So I'll try doing that less. Parang ganon. So over time, during a lot of those iterations, dahil it does thousands or millions of simulations, nakakagawa yung model ng parang isang generalized rule set na parang ganito gagawin ko pag ganito. Ganito yung gagawin ko pag ganyan. Para magawa niya kung ano man yung gusto niya gawin as efficiently as possible. Right? Clear so far? Okay, so those are the three. Supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement learning. There's a lot of other ML, machine learning processes and approaches, but those three are really the more common ones, right? So let's see how well you understood. Yung tatlong yan, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. What I'm going to do is I'll show you some real-life examples of machine learning, some machine learning applications na may gumawa talaga. And then over at the chat, sabihin nyo lang if it's supervised, unsupervised, or reinforcement learning. What's the best way to tackle that kind of problem? Correct answers will be awarded AWS credits. Okay, we'll give you prizes. So sila Ate Atcha will be watching the chat. Just tell me if it's supervised, unsupervised, or reinforcement. Okay?
Okay, guys, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Are you ready? Okay, so chat, just let me know. Supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. Okay?
Yan, ready na daw
Am I still sharing my screen?
Yep.
Okay. All right, good. Number one, hot dog or not hot dog? So, kung nanonood kayo ng Silicon Valley, you'd know this. Pero, what if I had a mobile app, you take a picture, tapos it tells you if it's hot dog or not hot dog? Very easy, no? It's supervised learning.
Yes.
Kasi if you were to create a machine learning model na ganyan, kailangan mo siyang ipakitaan ng mga pictures of what's a hot dog and what's not a hot dog. Di ba? So, bibigyan ka na ng ano. So, para makapagsagot siya ng tama. Is it a hot dog or not a hot dog? Okay? Pretty easy start. Warm up na? Okay, cool. Second, what about a Dota 2 competitive bot? So there's this company, OpenAI, they created a competitive Dota 2 bot. Tapos nanalo talaga siya. Natatalo talaga niya mga totoong professionals in the sport. So what kind of AI would this use? Okay, I already see some correct answers. So this is an example of a reinforcement kind of AI. Kasi what you normally do here is the bot, it plays the game and then tinatandaan niya what kind of decisions allowed me to win the game. Nung binili ko yung ganitong item, nung pumunta ko dito, nung inatake ko yung ganitong kalaban, what happened? And then it remembers all of that. So that's a very, very good example of a reinforcement learning kind of AI, right? Third, if I wanted to group different regions in a location, like for example, if I was a ride-sharing app, tapos every time somebody uses my app, I want to notify yung mga pinakamalalapit na riders para hindi ko naman pinino-notify lahat, di ba? How do I group the riders efficiently? Very good. So this is unsupervised learning naman. So normally what happens is that binibigay natin yung data of the locations of the riders on the map, kahit XY coordinates lang. And then you can ask an AI model to segment the map based on stuff like minimizing cost or minimizing the sizes and so on and so forth, right? So this is unsupervised. Fourth, how about anomaly detection? If I want to detect if something is abnormal, what kind of AI would that be? May mga AWS services that do this automatically for you as well. But if you wanted to build this on your own, what kind of ML would this probably be? So I think I've already seen correct answers. This is unsupervised learning then. So you don't exactly tell the model na, oh, this is what normal looks like, huh? This is what abnormal looks like. You just give the data to the AI, to the algorithm. It determines yung mga correlations between the data, and then it decides ano yung parang what does normal look like? What does abnormal look like? Right? So normally that's what anomaly detection does. So good. So yes, exactly, outliers, right? So that's how anomaly detection works. It's unsupervised learning most of the time. Last, what if I wanted to build an app that will predict house prices? So provided na nagbebenta ako ng bahay, real estate broker ako. Tapos a house has this surface area, has this many bedrooms, this many bathrooms, dito siya sa location na to. Magkano dapat yan? Parang ganun. Very good. Nakita ko na rin. This is a very good example of supervised learning there. So, dito lang na kanina, yung supervised learning doesn't have to be exact. Hindi siya kailangan something discrete like Apple or fake or fraudulent. It can also be something like, oh, itong house na to, this is 10,000 pesos. Itong house na to, this is 20,000 pesos. Tapos your machine learning model can determine ano-ano ang mga characteristics that contribute to the price. Para pag tinanong ko, oh, itong house na to, with these characteristics, magkano siya? Right? The machine learning model can give you a prediction based on the patterns it knows. So that's a good example of supervised. Right? So far, so good? Right? Does that make things clearer for everyone naman? Okay. I just want to finish off the talk kasi I think I'm about to run out of time. I just want to finish off the talk. How do you get started with ML? So ngayon, you have a good concept of how ML works, how you do ML in a very simple, I guess, kind of sense. How do you get started with ML on AWS? If you want to get started with machine learning, you probably will want to use Jupyter Notebooks, right? So if you haven't heard of Jupyter Notebooks, Jupyter Notebooks are pretty much a way for you to run code and document stuff as you go in a very, very convenient manner. So you can actually run a Jupyter Notebook on your computer right now, very, very easily. If you can run Python, very, very easily. It's a pip install notebook lang. Pero if you're going to be working with a lot of machine learning in the future, like for example, working with machine learning with a team, you're going to have to work with notebooks in a different way. Hindi lang yung nasa computer mo. So that's one of the ways That's Amazon SageMaker helps you. So Amazon SageMaker is whole suite of services dedicated for machine learning, all on AWS. So one of the things it does very, very well is manage notebooks across your teams. Pero you can also use SageMaker to run models, train your models, explore your data, share your data, deploy your models, use your models, and so on and so forth. So there's actually a lot of different things you can do on SageMaker. And I'm not going to ask you to remember all of this. Pero just to give you a better idea, if you want to do machine learning on the cloud, a very good start would be to take a look at Amazon SageMaker. At the very least, see how you can run a Jupyter notebook on it, and then see what you can do with a Jupyter notebook, and then you go from there, right? So it's a complete service suite that's designed for machine learning talaga. Now, the nice thing is there's a lot of different machine learning that's very common. Like kumari, image recognition, voice detection, or ano pa, prediction, forecasting, recommendation, mga ganon. A lot of those are very, very common. Now, we also have managed services on AWS that do that already. But you don't have to build the models yourself. So there's some of those services are right there. I've highlighted them. Again, I won't ask you to memorize all of them. But just to give you an idea, those are some of the managed services we have. Like, for example, if you want to create text-to-speech, Amazon Poly is a managed service that allows you to do that. It allows you to make human-like sounds, human-like speech based on text. Kung gusto mong para may nagdidictate, for example, and so on and so forth. Amazon recognition is image recognition, video recognition, and so on and so forth, right? So you don't have to build the models yourself. But if you do want to build the models yourself and get down and dirty with it, Amazon SageMaker is a very good first step. Okay? So what's next from here? I've given you a very quick taste of a very quick crash course, like a sampler of what ML is. How does it work? How do you get started with it? How do you do ML? Very, very simple, very, very high level. Where do you go from here? I really want to recommend the book by Joshua Arvin Lat. If you don't know him, we call him Arvs. He's an AWS hero from the Philippines. He just published his book called The Machine Learning with Amazon SageMaker Cookbook. It comes with 80 common use cases, step-by-step instructions on how to work with machine learning on different use cases. So if you want to take a look at the book, I really recommend it. The link to it is right there. Right? I'll give you a few seconds to copy it if you'd like. It's very well written. It's a very, very good book. And Arvs is one of the local developers and engineers I personally truly respect. So I wouldn't ask anything less from Arvs. Second is, if you want to read more about machine learning on AWS, we have a very convenient portal for it. And it's conveniently located at ml.aws. So you can just go there, https ml.aws, and everything machine learning on AWS is right there. Particularly, if you want to learn, if you want to go through courses on machine learning or anything else on the cloud, containers, serverless, we have a site called AWS Skill Builder, and that's the URL right there, explorer.skillbuilder.aws. There's hundreds of free digital self-paced courses there. So if you want to learn more about how to do machine learning, for example, or any other tech topic, just go there and see if we have courses. We probably do. So all of those are digital, on-demand, self-paced, and free. So go right ahead. A few last ones. If you're looking for data sets, so instead of you having to, collect all of your data, there's a lot of open data that's publicly available on the cloud. We collect a lot of those on the registry of open data on AWS. So if you want to get started with machine learning, step number one, you have to gather your data, diba? There's a lot of publicly available open data sets over at the registry of open data. So the URL for that is also right there. Lastly, AWS just announced that we are sponsoring 2,500 scholarships annually to students for AI and ML. So this is in collaboration with Intel and Udacity. So if you're interested in applying for the scholarship, it's open to students globally, high school or college. Just go to that URL over there. The requirements for the scholarship are right in the page. Okay? So I'll give you a few seconds to copy that URL as well if you'd like. And thank you for your time. Does anybody have any questions? I'd like to field
Yes,
them now.
Carding, we have here some set of questions for you. So question number 1, are you ready, Carding?
No, yes, I am.
Okay, so for our first question from Kemp Tiberio, what are the most used libraries right now aside from Pandas, NumPy, and Matplot?
That's a very good question. I have to admit, hindi ako masyadong machine learning kasi sabi ko na simula, di ba? Pero when I was working with machine learning, one of the things you haven't really mentioned is SciPy. So it's a very good library. It's kind of auxiliary to NumPy and Pandas. You will need a library for your ML framework then. So that can be SageMaker, that can be TensorFlow, MXNet, PyTorch, and so on and so forth. Particularly, my favorite is MXNet because that's what I've been using at least. So I haven't really explored a lot. Pero when you're working with ML, most of the time you're working in a Python environment naman. So all of it, you can pretty much bring in pretty much any kind of Python library then and use it. So if you're comfortable with whatever library you're using, just use that.
Okay, thank you, Carding. But before we move on to the next question, I would like to acknowledge the presence of Serena Sea, the Developer Marketing Lead of Amazon Web Services Asia Pacific. Hi, Serena. Okay, so for our next question, Carding, here in our Zoom chat from Christian Manuel Pitogo, is it true that you must have a good spec computer in learning ML?
Okay. Learning ML, I don't think you really need a good computer per se. Pero syempre, when you get around to training, diba, it's very resource intensive. Kasi when you're training a model, what you're doing is you're running an algorithm, you're feeding it a lot of data, and then your model generally has to do a lot of math, right? Depende sa algorithm na piliin mo, kung anong klaseng machine yung kailangan mong gamitin. Do you need a GPU, for example, or can you just get by with a CPU? And that is really one of the reasons why it's easier to do it in SageMaker kasi pag nasa SageMaker ka na, kung kailangan mo ng video card, it's easy to just create a video card, machine with a video card and then turn it off when you're done. Diba? If you're getting started with ML, I really suggest na subukan nyo yung Jupyter Notebooks kahit computer nyo lang muna. Then try running a few trainings kahit sa computer lang. And then get a feel for it. Kasi different algorithms, different use cases will use different kinds of resources.
Okay, thank you, Carding. For our last question, so for the first part of the talk, someone asked, so Ronald Paulo Ramirez is asking, is it okay to use JavaScript to learn machine learning and AI ecosystem since I am a JavaScript developer?
Theoretically, there's nothing stopping you from using any programming language to do ML, right? It just so happens na may mga programming language that are more kind of common. Like for example, Python. Python is what you hear about when you're doing ML, diba? Pero nothing's really stopping you from using JavaScript. Except for the availability of libraries that you will need, right? So if you want to use JavaScript for machine learning, TensorFlow, normally it's a Python library. There's a JavaScript version of it. You can use that with your JavaScript and run machine learning models with it, for example.
Okay, that's great. So Paulo, take note of that. Okay, he said nice. Okay, so unfortunately, we don't have enough time for other questions, but if you have further questions, I can see we have a lot more here. You can reach out to Carding, as you can see on the screen. You can contact him on LinkedIn, right? Do you have any social media that the audience can reach out to you?
Yep.
Yep.
Just
Okay.
send me a message over any of those social media. Then I'll be happy to answer your questions.
Okay, great. So, Carding, are you now ready to choose? So, we have 10 more AWS credits left. So, if you guys are in our Zoom room right now, you have a higher chance. Well, you guys have the chance of winning AWS credits. So, to join right now, when I say go, comment at MLAIAWS in all capital letters. Again, at MLAIAWS, wala pa, not yet. When I say go, only the correct answer will be picked. So I'm giving Carding the hard part of picking the 10 winners. So are you ready to choose the 10 winners, Carding?
Yes, I am.
Okay, no spaces. Okay, 1, 2, 3, go. So first winner.
Wow.
See? First winner, we have
Hannah.
Anna?
Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah.
Anna. You Carding, you read the whole name. So we don't know, we also have another Anna. So okay, first winner is Anna.
Okay, it's a Hannah.
Oh, Hannah.
Ang
Okay.
hirap. Sunod ko na lang ha.
Sige.
Alistair Rosales.
Okay. Number 3.
John Mark Santos.
Okay, fourth winner.
Rachel Aquino.
Okay, fifth winner.
Mark Raymond Alcala.
Wow, sixth winner.
Rika Joy. Hindi ko nakuha yung apelido niya.
Okay. Seventh winner.
Ang hirap naman ito. Wow!
Wow,
Jake
yeah.
Clement.
Okay, very good.
Kailangan unique yung pangalan mo. No?
Eighth winner. Wow, our audiences are really active tonight.
Oo nga eh. Okay, kailangan magpahintay ako ng konti para makakita ko ng ano. Kuha muna ako ng kape. Ang hirap. Ronald Paulo Ramirez.
Wow, congratulations. And okay, Carding, this time you have to choose really carefully because we have 2 more winners left. Okay, for our 9th winner.
Okay, teka lang. Cayetano Gorospe Jr.
Wow, that was fast. Okay, and our last and final lucky winner we have. Ayan na.
Tang-tang. JP Olivar.
Okay, congratulations guys to our winners tonight, to everyone who received the $20 AWS credits. So again, we would like to thank not only our speaker, thank you so much, Carding, but our co-presenters as well. So sharing it on our screen, you may stop sharing now, Carding. Thank you so much.
Okay.
All right. Okay,
figure
again.
out ko lang kung paano mag-stop.
Okay. Ayan. Okay. Again, thank you so much to our co-presenter sharing our screen right now. Okay. Thank you to Amazon Web Services and AWS Lab Pilipinas. And again, we would like to remind everyone that the e-certificate will be given if you have answered our CSAT form, to be shown in our screen right now. There you go. And the link will be provided in the chat. So don't forget to correctly put your email address. So I have learned a lot from this 1-hour tech-driven webinar, and I hope you guys learned a lot too. I definitely did from what Carding has said. Machine learning is really hard, but of course, right? You'll never know if you don't try it, and definitely it will be easy as you go along the way with the help of our community. That's why the Community Ignite series is made to empower everyone and make our development learning journey easy and enjoyable. So we hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much again to Carding. And I want to take this opportunity to invite you to a photo op with our speakers. So please turn on your cameras and let's have a picture with Carding. Yes, everyone, turn on your cameras. Hi, Alistair Rosales. Hi, Paula. How about the others? Hi, Patrick. Hi, Christian. Marcelo, hello. Hi, Joanna. Hi, Avin, Marcelus, John Mark, Joanna, Catherine, Ellie, Rika, hello. Okay, so is our team ready to take the picture? Okay, so everyone smile. We have here 5 pages. Wow. Okay, just smile, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, next page. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay, 3 more. 1, Okay, na fourth one. Okay, and last one. All right, guys, thank you so much. Sabi ni Emmanuel, sayang wala kang camera. Next time, you have a camera na. Okay, so at this point, this ends our Community Ignite Series episode 19, the absolute beginner's crash course to machine learning and artificial intelligence on Amazon Web Services. Again, on behalf of EdukasyonPH and Amazon Web Services Ciclab Pilipinas, we would like to thank everyone for coming, and your feedback is very much appreciated. So to answer our CSAT form, you should be seeing our screen right now. You can scan this QR code, and the link will also be provided by our team in the chat below. So again, don't forget to put your correct email address. And also, to be on the next top model, charot hindi, to be on the next top CIS attendee and win a prize, all you have to do is post your CIS or Community Ignite Series e-certificate per episode. Post it on either our Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, we're everywhere, and tag us at EdukasyonPH and AWS Ciclab Pilipinas. So we really appreciate your active participation, and we want to give it back to you. If you're an active CIS attendee, you can have the chance to win a prize. So sino kaya ang next kay Akim Teberio? He's also watching with us. So before you go, guys, we have another free event happening tomorrow. Yes, you heard it right, tomorrow from 6 p.m. onwards in collaboration with Laravel PH Year-End Meetup. So I will be the host then tomorrow. So meet Laravel enthusiasts, industry leaders, and more. So definitely we'll have a lot more fun. Get a chance to win prizes, including an Apple AirPod 2nd Gen. Yes, you'll get the chance to win an Apple AirPod 2nd Gen. And you can also join us tonight after this event for an after party from our Technology Philippines community in Clubhouse. So get ready to learn more about AWS next week, every Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. You can check it out on our social media accounts in the screen. So make sure to follow our Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and AWS Ciclab Pilipinas to stay updated. And bandang sinabi ba, once again, thank you everyone. We value your time. Stay safe, and I'll see you tomorrow and next week. Bye-bye, guys. Thank you.
Are you using machine learning on AWS to innovate for your customers and business? Demonstrate your expertise with an industry-recognized credential from AWS. Earning the AWS Certified Machine Learning Specialty Certification validates your ability to build, train, tune, and deploy machine learning models on AWS that are scalable, cost-optimized, reliable, and secure. AWS Certified. Build with confidence, competence, and credibility.